Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to Let's Play Chronicon. Got a bit of mild slowdown here, hopefully it doesn't last. It doesn't feel too bad. So this episode is going to be a pretty relaxed one. We're going to be doing greater boss anomalies. It's going to be great, similar to last episode. I'm going to set a timer on my phone. We're just going to do those anomalies for a while. And then at the end of it, we'll see how much we get. But more importantly, at the end, we will have accumulated enough crystal to hopefully get this thing done.
Hello.
So I want to get this skill all the way to 100 for an achievement. And plus, you know, it'll just give me more damage as well. And hopefully we will have enough crystal as well to do a bunch of other things. Mainly I want to start buying more stash space so we can arrange things a bit more effectively. And I think we're going to get a decent amount of experience as well. One thing I should point out. So if you look at the bottom left of the screen where you see my health, you know, the tiny blue sliver, my shield, you know, the large, the overwhelming majority of that bar, which is my shield. And to the right of that, you see a symbol with a number on it. So that symbol is for my mastery points. And you'll see I have quite a lot of them to spend, 96. The reason I haven't spent these is because, again, this is just a like pointless personal preference, but I like to spend them 100 points at a time, because I just feel like 1 point at a time is it's just too tedious. Like every single mastery point you gain, and then you open it up again and you put a point in for what doesn't even feel like it's made a big difference. Like, it makes a difference, but an individual point isn't going to make or break anything. So by waiting until I have 100, I save a bit of work for myself by not having to put each individual... Well, I mean, you do have to put the points. You can put them like 5 at a time. But to not have to open the screen every single time for each individual point, I think is the main thing that makes it easier. So at the end of this session, we will definitely have enough points. And, there's definitely a bit of slow... there were some Windows update stuff going on when I booted up my PC, even though I just got like the some new like Windows 11 update yesterday. But there's some other stuff that they want to update, and that always, for some reason, slows things down. But it shouldn't be too bad, because greater boss... Excuse me, I'm still got a bit of a lingering cough. So what I was going to say, because greater boss anomalies shouldn't be too bad. There isn't that much going on the screen. There aren't crowds of enemies. Well, we'll take a quick look at what it gives us. It'll give us these materials, which are basically body parts from the different bosses. And rarely you will get mythical weapon parts, which you can then use to craft your mythical weapons. And you can see it gives you 500,000 crystals and a small amount of experience per successful boss kill. And of course, the chest at the end will also drop a bunch of items, which you can then also sell for a bit more loot. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a timer with the endless anomalies. I set a 40-minute timer, ultimately only went for 35 minutes. For this one, I'm just going to set a 30-minute timer, partly because this is going to be way more repetitive than the anomalies, because the anomalies, at least, they're different environments, different places, different kinds of enemies. With these, it's going to be the same 5 bosses, admittedly in random order. You might fight the same one multiple times in a row, you might fight them in different orders, but it's still the same 5 guys, the same exact fight over and over again. So I don't want to like bore myself or you guys for too long. And I think half an hour is like the magic number for how long you can stay at something like this before it gets to be a bit much. And then at the end of it, we'll see what we got, and we'll start ticking off some of our long-standing objectives for this endgame run we've got going on with the Warden. I'm gonna pop my elixirs just out of habit. I'm also gonna check to see if I've been doing them evenly. 87. See, once again, I used this one once more than that one, so I've got to, you know, I was gonna say I'm gonna buy one more of these ones, but the lazier way is to just use this one again. So I wasted an elixir, but now at least they're both even again. Alright, now let me start my... Oh, let me cancel my timer because I accidentally started it. And let me refresh it to 30 minutes again. Now let me start my 30-minute timer and jump into our greater boss anomalies. Let's see what we got. We've got this one. I really hope we don't fight it too often. Okay, this time we were able to kill it before it threw us into the annoying second phase. But it feels like sometimes it throws you into that phase instantly. Maybe it's because I walked too close to it sometimes. Anyway, this was a good run on this boss. And now we've got this one. Usually you're fighting single targets. This one you've got to kill these two guys before this guy becomes targetable. And he's got a few different phases. We're not going to see any of them because we're just going to kill them too fast. That's going to be a running theme. We're going to be just blitzing through. And that's the name of the game. Speed. That's going to be the main thing that gives these anomalies their value. Now, one downside, and of course, I'll hit these, why not? One downside is that we are going to be collecting basically 0 materials for our beasts. Now, there is one boss, the Treant boss, I've forgotten what his name is, but in his thing, you can get some materials by destroying the like the trees, the vegetation, but I've already collected all of that material, so I'm not going to need that. And sadly, there is no boss in an icy environment, so we're not going to be able to gather any crushed ice. Got this guy again. This guy will spawn enemies if you let him live long enough. He'll go into a second wave where he becomes invincible, and excuse me, well, I was gonna say where he becomes invincible and where he summons other like trash mobs for you to fight. But we are not going to see that phase ever, because the idea is to kill these guys before they change their phases. Because if we had, like, even something like having to see one extra phase for any of these bosses would make it so that this is definitely not going to be, you know, a profitable and efficient way of doing things, because that would just slow it down too much. So this gives us a modest reward for each anomaly we clear, but the idea is going to be just to clear them as rapidly as possible. And I'm not going to even hit those 2 shrines at the bottom because they're too far away. I suppose when I'm fighting that lava boss, I could hit the shrines on my way to the boss. Yes, I'll try that next time. We'll see if it works. But we got this guy again. As you can see, random orders. Sometimes you fight the same one multiple times in a row. Eventually, you will fight something different. Okay, let's go. Let's keep on going. We're gonna keep. Here we go. We see this guy for the first time, and yeah, if you destroy these bushes, I think at least it's been a while since I had to do it, but I think if you destroy the bushes for the forest beast, you get some crafting materials for that one. But that one isn't active. And even if it was active, we don't need any more of that particular material. Oh, and I forgot to hit the shrines on the way in again. And these items are bouncing up and down, which means that our inventory is full and our beast's inventory is full. So what we're going to do is we're going to have him sell everything unique and lower in quality. Then we will pick up this stuff, and now instead of continuing, we're going to go back to Tinker's domain because I need to do a few things. I'm going to sell this stuff, and I also want to arrange things a little better. You know, going to keep an eye out for what we need. We need Warwick's Helm and Vestige of Lost Souls. So I don't see either of those things here, which means we can sell all of this. Take a look at those bolts. Not really needed. Yeah, so just sell all of this. We can't sell that quest item, sadly. Alright. How did he have more stuff that... Oh, I guess because we picked up... Right, we picked up the remaining loot after we sent him and then brought him back. Wrong arrows. We are looking for the snow storm arrows. The snow arrows. The arrows from that set. I don't think we found them though. I'm gonna arrange the stuff. Just, you know, arranging it can help you avoid selling something that you wanted to keep, because it arranges it by type. And so if you know the thing you wanted to keep was a regular legendary item, then you can be careful while you're selling your legendaries and so on. I think we got this one already. Yes. And all we need is the snowstorm arrows. Alright, and I'm also going to hold on to these materials until the end of the session, because if we put them in our stash right now, we'll just pick up more of them when we kill more of the bosses. Oh, and we got one of the rare materials as well. So yeah, you might as well just hold on to them until you are excuse me, done with your session. Sorry about the coughing, it's just really persistent, this cough. And our elixirs are about to wear off. I'm just gonna refresh them. Not that I need them, but I want to stay in the habit, because eventually I'm gonna do more endless anomalies, and I don't want to get into bad habits from fighting low-level enemies. I remember when these guys were tough. Really is almost a little bit surreal to be farming them like this. Oh, by the way, we are already beyond 480 million, which was the number that I had calculated for what we needed to spend to get that skill all the way up to 100. We're gonna be getting a bit more crystal, so even if my calculations were off, hopefully we'll have enough of a cushion that I can get that all the way up to 100 in this very video, but we'll see. See what happens. Let's continue. We're not even 10 minutes into the timer that I've set. So far, And we did slow down a little bit because I had to do some selling. But I think, yeah, this is not going to be the quickest way to get, not the most efficient way to get crystal, but a quick way to get a small amount of crystal, like, and that's kind of what I was looking for, because I wanted a bit of a break from the endless anomalies. Wanted to do something a little different. And it's still like a decent amount of crystal, right? Even if it's not a huge amount. It's like it'll get the job done. It'll allow us to buy a bunch of things that we need. Alright, let's keep on going. Good stuff. This boss fight bugs me a little bit, just because, like, you have to kill those guys before you can kill him, and it feels like that slows it down a little bit, but not by that much. Once he enters the fight and becomes targetable, I don't think he has any phases where he goes invincible, whereas a lot of the other like some of the other bosses do have phases where you simply can't target them. And I guess that's the way it balances out. Although this guy is, I think, he is always targetable, and he has such easy attacks to deal with. Like, even when he was doing damage, his attacks were so easy for me to handle. He was my favorite to fight. Sometimes, like when I was really weak against these bosses, but I still wanted to farm them for experience and crystal and you know, true legendary items. I would keep on going in and going out until I got that treant boss. I should learn his name. Next time we fight him, I'll make it a point to see what his name is. One thing I will check next time I fight this sandworm boss. Oh, we've got items bouncing up and down again. So let's do the thing. I was gonna say, one thing I'll do next time I fight this sandworm boss is I'll see if maybe my hypothesis is correct, that if you go close to her, she'll instantly throw you into the second phase. So we're not gonna go forward, I guess we are gonna go forward. I guess we can kill a few more because our beast did get some inventory space from selling those items. So yeah, we'll kill like 2 more. I think that graphical effect when she dies kind of slows things down a little bit, just because of how many little things are flying around. Yep, things are jumping around again. So what we'll do is because surely we'll have picked some unique level items, we'll sell them, and then when our beast comes back, we'll pick it up, and now we'll go back to town and do our selling. So Warwick's Crown, Vestige of Lost Souls, and Ice Arrow. The forest, do we have... surely we have that, but let me just check. Yeah, of course we have that. I don't know why for some reason I thought I hadn't gotten that. I guess maybe because I hadn't seen it in a while, so its name felt unfamiliar to me. Alright. Sell that. stuff. You sell yours. Oh, your inventory is full of legendaries and true legendaries. This is gonna be a bit of an issue. We're not gonna be able to sell them all in one go. This is why I think this game really does need a more efficient way of selling. Yep. Inventory is already full. It's okay, I guess. It does give a bit of like a catharsis, a bit of a breather, you know, a bit of rest in between, you know, periods of grinding to come here and sell items one by one. So in that sense, it's not so bad, but overall, I think it would be nice to have the option, at least, to do this a little bit quicker. I'm not too upset about it, though. Like, I'm not in a hurry to get anything done. Or, like, I'm not in a... Like, I don't have a deadline for when I need to, you know, get my skills, or when, like, how much crystal I need to grind, so on and so forth. So, sell all of that. We're getting close to 500 million, and it cannot sell that quest item. We are now at below 15 minutes, so I guess these periods of, you know, selling stuff really do take a lot of time out of your grinding sessions. So we started at around 474. We've so far gotten about 26 million, and we're still going strong. And we'll probably end up with around 40 million by the end of it, depending on how efficient I am with my time for the rest of this. Yeah, hopefully we don't have to fight this guy too much, because like we have to kill those guys. That takes time. Then we have to like wait for his transformation animation. That takes a bit of time, and only then can we kill him. So I guess that, like, he's fun to fight, but for my purposes today, he is not my ideal opponent. Yeah, let's just continue. This one again. Even going and hitting those things on the way to the boss feels like it's slowing me down too much, so I'm not gonna do that. I don't think... One thing I'm gonna try is... Oh! I went close to the boss, but it didn't send me into phase 2. Maybe it was a glitch that one time we were fighting, and it felt like she instantly threw me into phase 2. Which is good, and see that was... Excuse me, that pterodactyl that we saw briefly was one of the enemies that the boss summons. That the boss summons. Just to mess with you while you're trying to kill it. Alright, let's carry on.
Impeccable timing. The experiment starts.
Alright. Crystal, nice. Let's go, let's go. This one I love. He is reliably going to be easy to kill because he's targetable straight away. He doesn't have some animation that he has to go through first. And I don't think he has any invincible phases. This guy again. Definitely the slowest. So hopefully RNG is kind to us and we don't have to fight him too often. And surely our inventory is about to fill up soon. Yep, our inventory is filled up. So what I'm gonna do is so last time I sent my beast, and then instead of going straight back to town, I killed more bosses to get more items. I'm not gonna do that this time. It might seem like that's an efficient way to do it, but the problem with that is that because you're selling all of the unique and less and keeping everything else, then the beast's inventory becomes too full of legendary items. And then that means that you're gonna have to do multiple transfers from the beast's inventory to yours, and it's just not a good way of it ends up being not as efficient as you think it might be. So, you know, ooh, that's Works Crown, all 3 gold stars. We're gonna keep that. The rest we don't need. Now, we should be able to put all of these in our inventory. Almost all. Almost all. A lot of our space is being taken up by these boss materials as well. I guess for a bit of extra crystal, I could sell them. Might not be a bad idea, but I don't want to do that. I want to hold on to these materials just in case something happens and the game has an update later on where it's like, oh, there's a thing you can craft, but you need 100 of, you know, the greater boss crafting parts. So we're not gonna do anything with those just yet. We're gonna sell that. Like, even something like being able to sell directly from the beast's inventory would be a big help. But oh well. Okay, so we've got about 8 minutes left. Let's make the most of it. We are at how much? 510? That feels like a good amount of crystal. Oak Storm, I think, was his name. This guy again. Dang it. I guess it is a 1 in 5 chance, which is not that low. And if you're doing dozens of runs in a session, of course, like 1 in 5 probability events are gonna happen multiple times. But still, each time I see him, even her, because our damage is based on bleed damage that builds over time, she is able to do her first, you know, like teleport jump before our bleed kills her. But fortunately, she doesn't go invincible there. So we're still able to kill her relatively quickly. Let's carry on doing the good work. And since our elixirs are about to die, we'll Oh, I think the auto target was hitting another enemy briefly, but we still were able to kill the boss with relatively little trouble. Oh, for some reason I got stuck on the environment there. Alright, let's continue. The Beast Below. That's a pretty cool name for a boss. Not gonna lie. Probably my favorite out of all the boss names. The Dune Mother isn't a bad name, although technically that's not her name. That's just her her subtitle, her description, like the text that appears below her name. That's a cool title to have. I mean, cooler than Archdruid, which is a pretty, you know, run-of-the-mill fantasy term. Ooh, one thing I should mention. So, my warden here has the skin, like the cosmetic that you unlock, like the third cosmetic that you unlock, I think, for beating a Mythic 15 anomaly or something like that. And that's why she has, like, she looks like a mini treant herself. I'm talking about my main character here. So in case you were wondering why my warden here looks a bit different than yours, it's not a mod or anything. It's in the game. Like, you unlock the skin by completing the objectives that you need to get that skin. So she does look most at home in forest areas for that reason. Alright, now we're gonna do the thing again. Sell the stuff. Okay, now we go back to Tinker's Domain and do all of this again. The only thing we're looking for now is the Vestige of Lost Souls and the Snowstorm Arrows. I see neither of them here, so we're not gonna worry about it too much. Was that it? That we found it, Snowstorm Arrows. And is this... No, I thought maybe we found the Vestige as well, but we weren't so lucky. But, you know, found one of the things we're looking for. Not too shabby. I'm quickly gonna put these arrows in here rather than risk accidentally selling them. And here we go, Snowstorm Armor set complete as well. So sell everything because there's nothing here that we need. And we have like 2.5 minutes left. So let's see how much havoc we can cause in 2.5 minutes. We can get a few million more. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, a few million more, but it really does add up. Oh, I was a bit slow getting to her, but she's still not gonna be able to jump more than once. Ow. I got stuck in the corner there. Alright. Run, run, run. Yeah, this one as well, like you've got to run pretty far before you meet the boss. So that's another one that's a little bit slow. Yeah, let's see if we can at least fill up our inventory before these 2 minutes are up. I'm not sure we'll be able to. We'd have to be pretty lucky. We'd have to get, like, the rest of these bosses would all have to be quick ones. Like, this guy. I mean, you do have to kind of walk a bit. before you get to him. So maybe not so quick. The Dune Mother, actually, pretty quick one. Yeah, we're getting not great RNG. But what are you gonna do? We've got about a minute left on my timer. And we're just gonna run as far as we can. Let's not get caught on the on a corner in the terrain. It's hard to see the red portal with all those red bolts shooting out after you kill her. That's another minor issue with that fight. Alright. 29 seconds. How much can we get done? Oh no. Has my auto loot been disabled? I think I might have left some items on the ground because my auto loot wasn't. Oh. There goes the timer. Alright. We got a decent amount of things, even though I might have left. You know what, we'll keep going until the inventory fills up. Just to make up for the items I may have left on the ground by not noticing that my auto loot circle had been turned off. And then we'll head back and do our selling. Wait. Oh, there's the portal. Really is hard to see when that graphic is going on. And I think this might be the last one. Yep, last one. So what we'll do is sell your stuff. Honestly, what I should be doing is I shouldn't even be doing this exercise of selling the stuff for the beast and then coming back and picking stuff up. The only reason I'm doing it is because technically I am still looking for items. So the moment I find the vestige of lost souls, I'll probably, when there's only a few items left, I'll just leave them on the ground. Because it'll make the selling process faster. And the few items you leave on the ground, I don't think the money the crystals you would get from selling them are worth how much it would slow down your run. Alright. So we are at 531. We started at around 475, let's say. So that means we got around 56, 57, which is not too bad. Not too bad. Alright, let's sell all of this because we don't need to keep any of it. And now let's put our stuff away. Oh. How do I... Oh, left trigger to change slots. And let's put our materials away. We found 2 ancient bows, 2 ancient strings, a whole lot of these. We could sell them for extra crystal. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold on until I have 100 of each of these materials, and then any excess beyond that I will start selling. Alright, now what I'm gonna do is I need to, before I start buying skills and spending mastery points, I need to check one thing, which is my damage is at 468,475. Now let's go to Brimley and hold X to purchase 5. which is a bit awkward because X is right next to A. So let's see if we can take this all the way to 100. There we go. I got 2 achievements actually. One of the achievements was for spending a lot of golden crystals. The other one was for taking his skill all the way to 100. So we started with around 531 and we end up with 61, which means it cost 470 million in the end. So my calculations were a bit off, but I think I might have been giving myself an extra buffer because a lot of the prices were like 4.9 million. I would round it up to 5 million. So I think that added up to like an extra 10 million. But I did the rounding up just to make sure that I had more crystals than I needed when the time came to spend it. And it doesn't show anything in here. It still shows the same damage there, but if you see what we've done is we've increased the base damage for rapid shot and gust. So maybe it doesn't, I don't know, I feel like it should be showing up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly just jump into an endless... I'm not going to complete this anomaly. I'm just going to jump into an endless dungeon anomaly just to see if it feels like our damage has gone up. We're still in Halloween. It feels like we're doing more damage, I'll be honest. It's hard to tell because of the way in which we do damage, which is like, you know, slowly building up. I don't know. Either way, we have boosted up a skill that we are using, so I'm just gonna trust that we are doing more damage, even if the game isn't reflecting it in the stats. Anyway, we'll just sell some of this garbage that we picked up, and before we spend our before we spend our crystals expanding the stash, I will put some points into something here. So there are 2 main things that I'm putting my mastery points into. This one, which increases health, damage. This one, which increases base damage. And this one, which just increases mana. So let's actually put 100 points into mana and see how much extra damage that gives us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And yeah, it was 388, now it's 488. And this has shown us that we have indeed raised our damage there. And if we look at our shield, it was 400 something thousand. Now it's at 526,000. Excuse me. So we've boosted our damage. We have also boosted our survivability, and I think the next time I hit 100 I will put those points into just raw damage. I like kind of keeping those level with each other. You know what, this is kind of bugging me because they're at weird numbers. I'll like these like if I wanted to have this at a round number, I could either have this skill at a round number, or this one, which is the sum of this and all of these. at a round number. And I think, I mean, like, neither of these are round numbers, now that I think about it. And I think I'd rather have these totals to the left be the ones that are round numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put points until that hits 500. And I've got 17 points. I'll spend 15 points raising this to 400. With a couple of points left over, and we can see we gained a bit more damage, a bit more shield strength, and now let me. Oh, what am I doing? Left trigger to change slots. So press right stick to purchase row. Let's just get as much as we can. Oh, and looks like the price doesn't go up for each row you purchase. Outstanding. And now we can get space in that tab if we want it. We'll hold on to this for now. What did I want to do? I wanted to put this material in this tab. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's arrange everything. And now all of our boss materials and our other legendary crafting materials are in the same stash tab. But it's still mostly empty, so I am gonna have to find other things to put in there, otherwise it'll be a pretty big waste of... Ooh, one thing. I was holding on to things over here. Yes, we'll put the bottomless bags there as well. And these elixirs. And those other things. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a better way to use up that space. Alright. Let's arrange the stuff. There we go, that's not too bad, although it's still a lot of space not being used, and we'll have to figure out what else we can put that will fit. Maybe we can put runes in there, but I'll have to check whether the runes will actually fit. I'll have to see how many runes there are in total. So alright guys, I think that is going to be all for this episode. We did what I said I was going to do. I don't know, I was struggling so much with that sentence. But yes, we did it. We spent half an hour grinding greater bosses. Got a decent amount of crystal, completed some major objectives, got a couple achievements out of the way, and fully expanded our second shared stash tab, and we even have a bit of space in this one. So that is some good stuff. When we come back, I think what we're gonna do is, so if we go into the expedition tree, I think in the desert area, this skill that just gives you extra mana, that's a good one to get, but it is pretty expensive. You'll see the next rank is costing us 20 million crystal.
I cannot afford that.
Which we cannot afford. This is one that I would like to put points into, but it'll be so expensive. I think I would rather, like, before I start, just wasting or just using this as like a money sink, I would rather get all of my stash tabs first. So I think so that's going to be one like long-term thing. we'll work on. We won't necessarily get all of this done with this character, but that's just something to keep in mind. I think the other thing we're gonna do next episode is we're gonna farm for a few runes. For that, we're gonna have to do elite dungeon anomalies, which is gonna give us rune stones, and hopefully that will give us the runes that we're missing. Just to remind us, we need to get the rest of these warden runes and the rest of these general runes. I suppose other characters could technically also find the general runes, but I'd like to get it all done before I move on to other characters, just so we don't have that as a thing to worry about, and then we can just focus on playing and having fun. Like, it's fun regardless, but just so that we don't have this extra completionist goal hanging over our heads when we eventually do our playthroughs with the other characters. But yes, that is going to be all for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me for the next one as well. And until then, take care.